make sure that, looks like, I apologize, it looks like the recording just kicked in. So we will be recording this meeting as well. For any details you might miss, or if there's any business you know of that's not on the call, please make sure to share this with them. We'll show you in just a minute where the web link will be posted. But so we are talking about the project boundaries on Lakeshore Boulevard between East 217th and East 228th. There will also be some work going into Sims Park, but won't have a direct impact to the businesses or to the traffic. And the other piece that I want to kick off with is the project website. So we created a dedicated project website for this project so that you can keep up to date. You can learn more about the specifics, which you'll hear about today. But if you have any questions or want something to reference back to, the project website is a great resource. So that's available through the city's website, and it's available under the active projects on the Planning and Development Department webpage. So the Lakeshore Boulevard project, all the information will be here. This video will be posted there as well as ongoing project updates. So please make sure to check that out. And that includes some contact information should you have any questions. That should be a great primary resource, and then you can let us know if anything else comes up. So with that, I will turn it over to Councilperson McIntosh to kick us off with some updates and kick off the conversation.
Thank you so much, Director. And I'm not sure, it doesn't look like my camera's on, I'm not sure why, but I am here and happy to be with all of you this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining and for getting details about this really important project. I also want to thank the city team. Thank you. Okay, so my view changed a little bit. So there we go. All right, so I am Christine McIntosh. I am the Ward 5 City Council person within the city of Euclid, focusing primarily in the downtown area. And I know many of you, there might be a few that I haven't met, and if there's ever an opportunity, I'd be happy to join you in a meeting sometime. So I will provide my contact info at the end of my comments. But this is a really exciting project. Ever since I got on council, I have been just chomping at the bit to get some streetscape improvements to Lakeshore Boulevard, because I understand that communities who have thriving downtown areas, walkable neighborhoods, think of your, little neighborhoods in Ohio City or downtown Willoughby, they all have something in common, which is safe, pedestrian, and active transportation routes, cafe seating, things like that, outdoor patios. And I want to see, sorry, my cat is going to interrupt us. I want to see more of that here in the entire city of Euclid, but at this point, focusing on what I can have somewhat control of, which is downtown Euclid. So these efforts, the streetscape improvements and some of the improvements to Sims Park that the director referenced, these have been years in the making. I think they're going to be transformational. We had a 2007 downtown TLCI plan that had touched upon some of these improvements. These efforts were included in our 2018 master plan, and we even tried to demonstrate some of them in a temporary streetscape installation that I'm sure many of you remember, with various emotions, the pop-up parkway, which was, I think, really what showed the community what we could have. And I personally heard so many comments about how fantastic the crosswalks were and how that can connect neighborhoods to the south, to the north, and just help to calm traffic, more visibility on pedestrians, strollers, everybody, bicyclists, etc. So I wanted to touch upon a couple of things in the 2018 master plan that are really tied into this too. They identified our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And one of the weaknesses that is called out a few times is unattractive streetscapes throughout the city, vacant storefronts. Our strengths, though, we have the lakefront. We have institutions like Shore Cultural Center, and the Lakefront Community Center, and then opportunities like additional lakefront development, streetscape changes, corridor improvements, small retail area and downtown improvements. These all help create a vibrant community strategy that we're taking up with this project, focusing infrastructure investments and hopefully getting more recruitment of retail and beautification efforts to commercial districts like downtown. This will strengthen the connection from Sims Park and other lakefront green spaces, strengthen those physical connections between those parks and downtown Euclid. So when people are at Sims Park, they can more safely walk or bike over to the businesses in the downtown area. And that all comes into this idea of traffic calming, which we all know, I'm sure downtown businesses probably witness this way more than I do when I'm downtown, since you're there all the time. But Lakeshore Boulevard is a speeder's paradise. No one obeys the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. When they're speeding through, are they even looking at your storefronts? Do they even know what Euclid has to offer? So my hope is that these improvements will, as the director stated, help spur some economic development, and maybe we can see some additional new businesses in the community. So I won't take up any more of your time, because I know I'm sure we have a full agenda, but I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this discussion and learn about the project. And if anybody has questions or comments, feel free to email me, cmcintosh@cityofeuclid.com, or call at 216-333-8601. That's it for me. Thanks, Director.
Thank you, Councilperson McIntosh. And for the businesses on the call, the councilperson's contact information is available on the city website. We'll also put that specifically on the project page so that it's essentially a one-stop shop, if you will. So you have all the contact information available. Perfect. Well, with that, then we will turn it over to the kind of construction team, if you will. I'll introduce a few people here as I bring them into the chat room. So Director Dan Connect, who is the Director of Public Service. We have Dave Newmeyer, who is the City Engineer. We have Dustin Prebish, who is with the contractor for Breezy Trucking and Paving. And let me see if we have, I think that covers the main group. If I miss anyone as people file in, let me know and we'll get them added to the conversation. But with that, then I will turn it over to Dave, if you want to kick us off maybe, and we can go from there.
Sure. Thank you. I guess my plan on this is to kind of give everyone an overview of what the project is and what to expect this year for construction wise. The project basically is we're replacing the water line from 217th to 228 or to 222nd Street. And during that phase, first of all, we had the contractor going to put up a temporary water line. So construction is going to start next year or next week. So you'll see them going out there. You'll see a black pipe going on both sides of the road. You'll be hooking up to that temporary water line. That should last about 3 weeks. Once that temporary water line is installed, chlorinated, and you guys are all hooked up, they're going to start construction on the water line in Lakeshore. The construction is going to start at 217th. It's going to go in the middle. Basically, they're going to construct it in the middle of the pavement, keep the outside lanes open for both directions. So traffic will be maintained at all time during that work. You will have access to all your businesses, all the driveways, and that should last until late October, early November. That includes installing all of the concrete medians, the pedestrian medians, and the landscape medians. Once that phase is finished up, the plan is to switch over to to switch traffic and work on the outside lanes. Now, whether we get to that phase this year or not is to be determined. It's all dependent on weather and depending on how quickly Febreze is able to move. But the phase one, which you'll see coming up momentarily, will be the contract work in the middle of the roadway, traffic pushed to the outside lanes, and then once that's finished up, then they'll flip it and push the traffic to the inside lanes, and it'll work on the outside of the roadway. And I think that's about it for, if you go down a little bit, I do have some field contacts on there for our field inspector, Mark Swager. He will be the city's rep out there. His email and his phone number is there. That is his cell phone. He is there for the city. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, issues, feel free to reach out to him. And Febreze, the contractor's project manager, his contact info is there as well. You can feel free to reach out to them if there's any issues as well.
Dave, so maybe we can touch base a little bit more on when we're working through the construction as it moves. We're doing a water line from 222nd to 228th. As the water line is going through, what would be the expected impact to businesses as far as both the physical water line, the temporary water line being put in? How might it impact businesses as far as water service connection, as well as, I know you mentioned driveway access will be maintained. Are there any temporary times where that may not be the case, where work may be occurring in driveways and things of that nature?
Well, and the work everyone will have access to the driveways, except if the contractor is working right at the driveway. We will coordinate with them. The only time they'll be doing it is if they're, the water line's right in their driveway, if they're working right there in the driveway. Other than that, you will have access at all times. Everyone will have access to water except when they're doing the tie-ins from the permanent to the temporary. So when the contractor does that tie-in, you'll be without water momentarily while they perform the tie-in. And then once they tie you back in from the temporary to the permanent, you'll be without water momentarily as that time as well. That time will be coordinated, so everyone will be made aware ahead of time. When the temporary water line is up, everyone will notice there is going to be a black pipe going down the side of the road, going in the curb line on both sides of the road. It's going to be going in the driveways. They'll be ramped up so you can drive over the water line, but it will be out there. It will be visible. Everyone will be able to see it. And the water line, when they construct it, is going to be in the middle of the road. You'll have on the north side of the road, the curb line, you'll be going westbound, and the far south side of the road, you'll be going eastbound. You can cross back and forth, except for where the contractor is working, obviously. But once they get through it, everything will be backfilled or plated, so you will be able to cross over the trench. And I guess, is there anything else you can think of, Patrick?
And when the businesses are tied into the temporary water line or back into the new permanent water line, are there any precautions that need to be taken as far as running water for a certain amount of time or anything of that nature to just flush any potential sediment in the line?
That probably won't be a bad idea. You will have directions from Cleveland Water and the contractor. The Cleveland Water will be in contact with you if any shutdowns ahead of time, and any instructions on what to do to clean up your lines or anything like that. That will be Cleveland Water will instruct that.
Great. I want to make sure, just as a reminder, as businesses are listening to Dave or to Director Connect or Dustin here in a moment, make sure to put any questions you have in the question and answer box. located at the top or the bottom of your screen. We'll be monitoring those and making sure to respond to those questions towards the end here. Perfect. And thank you, Dave. I want to make sure to give Director Connect and Dustin an opportunity if there are any things as far as the project that they would like to touch base on before we answer any questions.
Okay.
Director Connect, I think you're unmuted if you have anything.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, you know, this is a project that's a long time in the making. We've had quite a few major breaks that have disrupted businesses in the last 8 years, and you know, this is finally the time to address that, bring that infrastructure through that area up to something that will be more reliable for the future and hopefully eliminate breaks of the magnitude that we experienced in these last 8 years.
Great, thank you. And I think that's an important point to highlight too, is this is also taking care of some fundamental infrastructure work that needs to occur. All right, and Dustin, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, just a follow up on one thing Dave said about when we do connect the bypass, we will pass out letters. We do recommend flushing it, but there will be a letter with emergency contact on there. Please hold on to the letter in case you have any issues. That way you guys can call and we can take care of it immediately. And also while we're out there sending the bypass, if there is any concerns with any of the properties, please send the questions in, but talk to our guys too. I mean, anything we can do so we don't interrupt business, that's our goal. So please communicate with us. That way it's stopped before it becomes a problem.
Great, thank you, Dustin. So the first question we have that's come in is a little bit more on the specifics of the streetscape. And I'll scroll back up here. So I know we have some kind of preliminary overview as far as landscaped and pedestrian medians at 226 Lakeshore, East 219th and East 218th, and then landscape medians at 220th and 22300 Lakeshore. Maybe David or Dan or Dustin, can you touch base a little bit more about the streetscape itself, maybe some of the plantings, just to help businesses get an idea of what this may look like on the other side of the construction?
Am I able to share my screen?
Yes, you should be able to share your screen.
No, I cannot. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. See it? Okay. Everyone see, you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I guess this is what the streetscape is. I think this is the first. Nope, I'm sorry. One more. So right here is 217th Street. Right here, and this is the first median. We're putting, there's going to be a crossing right here. These are, I'm not a landscaper. I don't know anything about plants, so please forgive my ignorance. But the plants are right here. It's like they're green vases, ivory silk, some trees, some shrubs, and some flowers. The next one we have going up right over here, and this is 220th right here. There's another landscaping island with a pedestrian crossing right here. Basically the same plants. There's another one on the other side of 220th as well. Same planting scheme. And this is just another landscape median. There's no pedestrian crossings here over by, what is that? This is 22300 Lakeshore. That one right there. And there is, the last one is, this one is 228th Street. This one's a little bit more robust with the Sims Park landscaping here and new pathway going up to the Sims Park. So that's basically what the landscaping is going to be. As I said, I am not a landscape architect, so I really can't tell you what all these plants are. If anyone wants specifics, I can get it back to you. Or if anyone has any other questions, I can answer them as best as I can.
All right, and actually, Dave, if you can put that graphic back up, this might help. This might help for the next question. So we have a person who asked kind of for more detail as far as the lane closures, and so maybe using this graphic and walking through as you were talking about the phases of impact on the maintenance of traffic.
Okay. Yeah, the phases will be when the contractor's working. Here, let me get to. When the contractor's working, the water line is right here. Okay, so this is the water line they replaced from 228th all the way up to 222nd Street. So when they're here, there's going to be barrels up on this lane line and barrels down here. So basically, the contractor is going to close down the middle 3 lanes, the center turn lane, and both of the inside through lanes. And this will give them the place to work to install the wire line and to install the medians. All the traffic's going to be pushed. If you're going eastbound, you're just going to be pushed up to the very north lane. If you're going westbound, it's going to be pushed to the very south lane. And you can take it all the way through, all the way through up to was it 218, 219th. All the way through here. Then once you get through here, then it's going to open back up to all 5 lanes of traffic.
So going into heading eastbound, leading up to 217th, and then heading westbound, heading into East 228th, there will be a narrowing from 2 travel lanes into 1 travel lane, and headed both directions. Those will be travel lanes along the curb.
Correct. And then once they're finished with that inside, then they're going to flip it and then have the traffic go on the middle lanes and open up traffic and then close traffic on the outside lanes. And that's to be, whether it's going to be this year or next year, depending on how good weather is for us this winter.
All right, and for the crosswalks, this is a great example here. For the crosswalks, will there be new signalization? How will drivers know that a pedestrian is trying to cross, and what may that look like?
We are going to put up rapid flashing rectangular beacons. Basically, they're push buttons. Pedestrian goes out here, pushes the button, and then it flashes yellow lights to warn people of pedestrians are using it for them to slow down and pedestrian can cross. So basically, the intent is to go up in here, push the button, cross, and then once you get up here, push the button again, then cross again. So this is a little refuge island, so you only have to cross 2 lanes of traffic at once.
So this will look very similar to Lakeshore Boulevard, a little bit further east. Was it over near like maybe 242nd?
Yeah, over by the apartments.
Over by the apartments.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and the next question, how will the project affect the bike lanes? Will there still be parking on the street?
Yes, the project is taking out the center turn lane is what we are doing. So where the center turn lane is not needed, we are basically removing it. So say you're going eastbound eastbound on Lakeshore and 217th, like you can still get in the center turn lane and make a left on the 217th Street. There is no reason for anyone to make a turn into here. So we put in a median right in here. We strategically placed medians where there's no left turns needed. And we kept an open where you need to make a left-hand turn. Like this one right here, this median is cut a little bit short with a taper so the car can still go in here, pull out of traffic and safely turn on to 220th.
And so then to the second question, will there still be parking on the street? So in front of Lakeshore Coffee House, in front of the businesses there, as well as a little bit further down in front of where you were talking about, that parking will still be maintained through construction?
Yeah, are we talking about these parking right here?
Correct. Those
Yeah,
are some of them, and then some west of 222nd.
Yeah, they will, during the first phase, they will still be maintained. During the second phase, when they have to flip them and put the traffic on the inside lanes, they will not. But
Dave, just to add to that too, when we go through there with the bypass, we will need to get through that area, but it'll be minimal time that will be in there.
Okay, and then someone asked if you can speak a little bit more to how this will calm traffic. How does this help people understand that this is a place that needs to be driven slower? If you can expand on that a little bit.
The whole theory on calming traffic is to put objects in driver's way so they know they have to pay it. So you have to pay attention to it. If you try to shrink up the pavement a little bit, put in like street trees and things like, it makes it feel tighter, makes it feel more confined, doesn't make it feel as open as an expressway. Because typically when people feel comfortable, when it seems to be wide open is when they speed. When it seems to, get a little bit more confined, the curbs get tighter, there's, trees in the middle, they have to pay attention. That's when they slow down. It's like, oh, I need to, pay a little bit more attention through here. There's high visibility crosswalks, new pavement striping out there. So it gets the driver's attention and say, hey, there's more stuff out here. You really need to pay attention to slow down.
So trying to make the roadway look a little bit less like 271,
like an expressway,
like 271 or 77.
Correct.
So using some visual cues to tell people this is a place that you need to be slower, with pedestrians in mind, things of that nature.
Correct, yes.
Okay. There was a question, and I think we addressed this already, but there was a question of are turning lanes being lost after construction is done? And I believe Dave already answered this, but yes, there will be portions of the turning lanes that are lost, but they were areas where there was no turning movement already taking place. So I think actually what's up on the screen is a perfect example. Right up in front of, we've got right at 228th and Lakeshore. So we've got Sims on the left or at the top. And along the bottom of the screen, we've got the Irish American Club and we have the theater. There's no left turn in front of either one of those properties. So there's no left turn into Sims and there's no left turn into the theater or into the Irish American Club. So that was an area where the plan was designed to take out a portion of that turning lane and put this landscaped median as well as a pedestrian crossing. Following up on that, will the speed limit change?
No.
There's no change to the speed limit.
Correct.
Another question was, how will drivers be notified there's a new traffic pattern when the project is finished?
Well, there is no new traffic pattern. It's still going to be 2 lanes in each direction with the center turn lane where needed. So there is no need to inform drivers of a change in traffic pattern besides the visual cues of the medians and the high visibility crosswalks.
All right, I think we answered all the questions.
Director, I have a question, if you don't mind.
Please.
Thank you. Lower my hand here. A couple questions. How long, and we might get to this at the end of the meeting once we get into some of the Sims Park improvements as well, but how long do we expect the entire construction project to take from start to finish, including both phases? So that's question number 1, is the entire project duration. And then my second question is probably more so directed to either the construction team or service director, Dan Connect. So currently we have a sign reminding people around 218th and Lakeshore Boulevard that the speed limit through downtown is 25 miles an hour. Can we use that type of signage to give motorists advance notice that construction is going to be beginning around or after Labor Day, just so people can make changes to their everyday route? Lakeshore Boulevard is a pretty heavy commuter corridor, so having any signage on the east and west ends that just can notify and alert people, maybe, you know, this week or ongoing, that there is activity, I think that would be helpful. And that's it.
Well, I guess to answer your first question, it depends on how good the fall is to us. Otherwise, what we're hoping to do is to get Lakeshore done this year, get it done and paved this year, and then do the Sims Park and concrete restoration maybe this winter, next spring. It all depends on how Mother Nature cooperates. At the very least, what we're going to get done this year is going to get the middle islands in and the water lines in, and then that's scheduled to be done late October, early November, and then see how the weather is for the asphalt paving for the rest of it. I guess, Dustin, what's your, I guess, overall construction duration? We're looking
About 3.5, 4 months.
3.5, 4 months.
And will the street trees and the medians or that landscaping be done at the end of the project, or sometime in the middle, like when the medians are constructed this fall? Will we be planting, or are we going to hold all of that until the entire project's done next spring, estimated?
It's always
I spoke with the landscaper this morning, and he's going to get back to me on that. It really depends what time of year. I mean, if it's early enough in November, we have the medians in, we're able to plant. They still say it's a good time to plant. I absolutely want to get them in. If it's starting to get later, we might plant the trees and they die. I don't want to risk that. So I mean, it's going to be an ongoing conversation, and like Dave said, it's going to be very dependent on the weather and what our outlook is. We get a year like we had last year, we'll be in great shape, but it's Ohio.
Understood. And then if somebody could answer the signage question, and then I will be quiet. Thank you.
I guess, Dustin, would you you're gonna plan on being out there next Tuesday?
They're actually going to be out there tomorrow to start laying out drums and cones and signs and all that. So as far as signage, I mean, we'll have road construction ahead signs posted before you get into the zone. Are you looking for additional signage beyond just the construction zones ahead?
Yeah, I was thinking that we could have the digital display signage.
Portable message boards.
Yeah, something that's portable that you can place up on, like, bookending the project area, so people who might become frustrated with any potential traffic delays, especially during rush hour, then they can opt to take the highway instead of Lakeshore Boulevard.
With that, I need to double check the MOT because I don't know off the top of my head if that was in there. David, portable message boards there?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I don't see a problem getting those out there, Dustin, if we can.
All right, I'll when I get off the call too, I'll start procuring them. They're a pretty hot item these days.
Yeah, I'm sure. I guess it can't hurt to over communicate. So thank you.
Yeah, just something for like a week out there, just let them know construction is going to be beginning, expect delays type of thing.
All right, and actually the one final question that I think is worth touching base on is how the project is being funded. There was a question about that. So this is part city funded, part Cleveland Water funded, and the county is also assisting with the repaving. So city, county, and Cleveland Water are helping to pay for this project. All right. I want to recognize everyone's time here. Were there any parting thoughts, Dave, Dan, Dustin, anything as we've gone through the conversation that we haven't touched on, you think is important? Anything we might have missed? Just want to give you the opportunity to any closing thoughts.
I guess the only thing I will say, if you do have any issues on site during construction, please feel free. Our inspector, he's working on behalf of the city. Mark Swager, he looks like Santa Claus, gray hair, big gray beard. He's out there. He's there to work for you guys. So if there is any problems that you want to talk about, need to resolve something like that, feel free to reach out to him. I think that's all I have.
Dustin, did you have anything, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just following up on David said, my email's on there also. Like I said a little bit earlier, if there is an issue or something you need us to work around, please communicate with the guys, but please send me an email also so I can make sure it gets done. I'd much rather take care of an issue before it becomes a problem.
Great, thank you. And Director Connect?
I just want to thank everyone for their time and, as for the patience as we go through this project, definitely the end result will be worth the time that it takes to get this completed.
Thank you. And Councilperson McIntosh.
Oh, thank you so much. No, just tremendous thanks to the project team and for all of our downtown business and property owners, understanding that this could cause some frustration and maybe some questions. But please know that the city and our project team is here to assist you in any way. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you to all the downtown businesses for being here this afternoon. Like I said, we will get this video posted to the project website. And that will be available here hopefully by tomorrow. It'll be a larger file, so it'll take us a little bit to get that uploaded. That will also include the contact information for Councilperson McIntosh, the two people referenced by Dave, as far as the project site manager, Dustin, as well as the field inspector, Mark Swager. Their contact information will be there on the website as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to anyone on the contact list. We're happy to help in any way, but thank you for your ongoing commitment, businesses, for doing the work that you do every day to make downtown Euclid such an amazing place to visit, to work, to play. And we're trying to do our part to make the downtown a unique place, a safe place for pedestrians. Certainly we all know you want to go grab a coffee and then you want to go shopping, you grab dinner and walk down to the movie theater. You need to walk from your car to whatever destination it is. So it's important that in addition to having the main infrastructure, the water line up to date and meeting modern standards, that you can walk safely with your family, friends, whoever you're going downtown with, that you can visit a business, multiple businesses safely. You can visit the Lakefront Trail, the Sims Park Trail safely. So we are trying to do our part to match the hard work that you're doing every day to make the downtown a special place. So thank you again, and be sure to look out for project updates on the website. Thank you so much for your time, everyone.
Thank you.